Good morning. It's Tom Padula here from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and, of course, Insegna Booksellers. And this morning it's lesson 39, Italian, the Pratica. It's Tuesday, the 2nd of August 2022. And I think we're going to have another morning in which we practice the Italian. How we do it is important because we don't always have people who speak Italian around us here in Melbourne, and therefore a lot of the times we are on our own. And if you're learning a language, unless you have other companions that with whom you can speak the language, it's pretty difficult. So what my intention is to show it has been to show what you can do with the language on your own and, of course, with others as well, whenever you get the opportunity. Lesson 1 to 20 was the grammar. 21 to 40 is the pratica in Italiano. Now, I could keep going and going with the pratica, but I decided to stop at lesson 40 and then begin another journey with Italian literature from the beginning to modern times. And there'll be about 20 programs as well. So the idea of learning a language is also to get involved with the culture of that language and to have sort of a bridge between ourselves and the people who live in the country where the language is spoken. Now, Italian is also spoken worldwide, but it's not the official language, the national language of particular countries. So Italian is officially the language just in Italy. Everywhere else, it's a second language. Italy was responsible in a way through the Roman empires of 2,000 years ago to spread the idea that one should speak one language or should understand one language right across the empire, which at the time went from Europe to India, basically at its height. And when the Western and Eastern empires, especially, were developing or were in place. Now, in terms of today, I also have a couple of announcements to make. One of them is that I've worked out with Tony Aiello from Il Carretto to be there on a Wednesday from 3 o'clock till about 4:30 when I have an activity. But since I am here at Insegna Booksellers during the week or any time by appointment, sometimes it's a bit hard for people to come here. So I can see someone who wants to see me on a Wednesday on my way back from my French class there in Bowen. I'm going to stop at Il Carretto if anyone wants to see me because I want to have cultural afternoons with the people who want to be participant with the coro all'improvviso, in other words, learning Italian song lyrics together, and so you can enjoy the wealth of Italian culture through music and song. It's one of the aims that I've had now for quite a while, and I'm glad to say that a few people online are taking it on as well, and I'm sure that they'll do a very good job with that as well, because language is to be shared, it's to be enjoyed together. Important. What else is there? So that's that. Basically, I also had the pleasure of having at the end of the month at Federazione Lucana, I had a small group, of course, because 5 or 6 of them were not feeling well. So, sort of the numbers are growing. Different people will come at different times. And I have to accept that. And let's not forget that this is all voluntary work. It's not something that, remuneration. So if anyone wants to help out Insegna, and me especially, with all the work that I do, come and get some resources for yourself for the learning of Italian. I'm here. If you come, I'll even throw in some freebies for you. That's it. I just want you to learn the language and keep it as a second language. If you speak the language that you speak in the country that you are in. And in this case, we're in Australia, so we speak English, but Italian for us gives us a strong identity. And this is the message that all ethnic groups should have for their own people, for their own communities. And that's what multiculturalism is all about. It's an acceptance of each other in whatever diversities we live in, and the idea is to live in peace with each other. Unfortunately, peace is not what humanity has been used to over the centuries. We're working towards it. I think it's 11:31. I better stop. Okay, let's start. Now, last week I said we'll do from Speak Parla Speak. I've got plenty of copies of this book here, and today we're going to do diciamo grazie. Diciamo grazie. Okay, so here we go. Cosa si dice? Molte grazie, mille grazie, prego, di niente, non è niente. Ragazzi, vi ringrazio tanto, grazie del vostro aiuto, grazie, sei molto gentile, tante grazie alla mamma, tante grazie dalla mamma, ringrazio il papà per me, senz'altro, sì, certo. Okay, I better show you, and then we can do the English as well. Okay, here we go. Cosa si dice? What do you say? Come si dice, I would have said, but in this particular book, there's cosa si dice. Molte grazie, many thanks, mille grazie, thanks a lot. Prego, you're welcome. Di niente, it's nothing. Non è niente, it's nothing. So there you are. So you got one, you got that, and then you got to the other one, back and forth. And if you repeat them long enough, when you actually know how to say them, then and you own them, that's when you've got this under your hat. And if you notice today, I've had a different hat again. I've gone back to the previous one because I walked out of my house without my usual hat and scarf. So there you are. Things, move on. And you have to adapt. And that's what learning a language is all about. Ok. Ragazzi, vi ringrazio tanto. Grazie del vostro aiuto. Grazie, sei molto gentile. So, children, thank you very much. Thanks for your help. Thanks, you're very kind. Molto gentile. Tante grazie alla mamma. Tante grazie dalla mamma. So, many thanks to mom. Many thanks from mom. Ringrazio il papà per me. Thanks, Dad, for me. Thanks, your dad, for me. Senz'altro, sì, certo. For sure, yes, certainly. You got a choice there. Now, the next lot is, dovete ricordarvi di ringraziare. Hai ringraziato la direttrice, il direttore? And it's got scuola elementare. Okay, primary school. Avete ringraziato il o la preside of the scuola media? Preside, ingenii, notice il o la, can use both, for the masculine and the feminine, according to which person runs the school. Scrivi una cartolina di ringraziamento, diciamo la preghiera prima dei pasti, nessuno mi ha ringraziato, ringraziare non costa niente, which is true. So, dovete ricordarvi di ringraziare, you must remember to thank. No, hai ringraziato la direttrice, il direttore. Did you thank the principal of the primary school? Avete ringraziato have you thanked the president? So notice il direttore, la direttrice for primary school, but il preside or la preside for the secondary school in Italy. It's an important thing to remember. But when you're in a primary school or secondary school, it'll come obvious. But if you're not there, it's a different ball game. Scrivi una cartolina scrivi una cartolina di ringraziamento, write a thank you card, diciamo la preghiera prima dei pasti, let's say grace before a meal, very much a religious thing, or you can just say buon appetito, etc., etc. You can say something before you start eating. We thank, the Lord, or we thank whoever, prepared the meal, but, the meal arrives when everything around us, you got people who grow the food and gather it or buy it and cook it. Nessuno mi ha ringraziato. Nobody has thanked me. I get a bit upset. I did all this work and nessuno mi ha ringraziato. Ringraziare non costa niente. Thanking doesn't cost anything. So thank you, Tom Padula, for your grazie, ringraziare non costa niente. Thank you to the student for listening to me. Io vi ringrazio molto, it's true. And, conversely, you thank me as well. So we both thank each other. And that's what, being civil is all about. The next one. Wait a minute. I thought... Oh, no, that's it. That's it. No. Okay. Diciamo grazie. Okay. One last time. Let's do it again. Nice and easy this time. Cosa si dice o come si dice? Molte grazie, mille grazie, prego, di niente, non è niente. Ragazzi, vi ringrazio tanto. Grazie del vostro aiuto. Grazie, sei molto gentile. Tante grazie alla mamma, tante grazie dalla mamma. Ringrazia il papà per me? Senz'altro, sì, certo. Dovete ricordarvi di ringraziare. Hai ringraziato la direttrice, il direttore. Avete ringraziato la preside o la preside. Scrivi una cartolina di ringraziamento. Diciamo la preghiera prima dei pasti. Nessuno mi ha ringraziato. Ringraziare non costa niente. Welcome to Zoraida Moros. Thank you for coming on. Great help for me to have someone following my lesson. Now, from there, we have, well, that's it for Speak, Parla, Speak. We'll go to the next lot. Now, the next lot I chose at the beginning of this pratica and also throughout la grammatica, I chose certain songs which I also did, I also covered in terms of their words. And they were the following. Last week I did 4 of them, and this week we're going to start with Fiorin Fiorello. Here, have a look. See that? But I'm not going to put the words there. You can look them up. You can, on your phone, you go to Google or Chrome or whatever, and you bring up Fiorin Fiorello lyrics, okay? And that's what I did. See, I sort of, you can do a bit of grammar with these songs. So here we go. Oh no, I'll be able to. I'll just put it on here so that you can read the words. Okay. You can sing along with me. Let me see. I have to get it right. Okay. Oggi tutto il cielo è in festa, più ridente brilla il sole. E non so perché vedo intorno a me tutte rose e viole. Il mio cuore innamorato non lo posso più frenare. Io non so cos'è, c'è qualcosa in me che mi fa cantare. Fiorin fiorello, l'amore è bello vicino a te. Mi fa sognare, mi fa tremare, chissà perché. Fior di margherita, cos'è mai la vita se non c'è l'amore che il nostro cuore fa palpitar, fior di verbena se qualche pena l'amor ci dà, fa come il vento che in un momento poi passa e va, ma quando tu sei con me io son felice perché fiori in fiorello l'amore è bello vicino a te. And of course, when there is music as well, you can repeat it, from the beginning. Fiori in fiorello l'amore. So it's a bit of music, and then you repeat it again, the chorus line. So that's fiori in fiorello. Okay, so after that, we take a bit of a break. Welcome to Maria Anna Cassino. Okay, so we're going to do sport now. So that was the first song that we did, Fiori in Fiorello. Look it up. It's a beautiful song to learn and to sing along with your friends. And last week we did sport, if you remember correctly. We did sport, and I got to cycling. So, cycling, il ciclismo, bicycle, la bicicletta. Now, let's do it this other way, which is better, really, so that you can participate as well. Okay, here we go. Ok, il ciclismo, la bicicletta, il freno. To ride a bicycle, andare in bicicletta. So if you learn the present tense of andare, you say io vado in bicicletta, tu vai in bicicletta, lui, lei va in bicicletta, noi andiamo in bicicletta, voi andate in bicicletta, loro vanno in bicicletta. And don't forget, andare is a bit of an irregular verb. But, when you do the imperfect tense, you say, io andavo in bicicletta. You're old now, you can't go on with the new. Io andavo in bicicletta quando avevo 15 anni, which is true. Io andavo in bicicletta quando avevo 18 anni, which is true. Ma io non andavo in bicicletta quando avevo 20 anni perché guidavo una macchina. I was driving a car. So you can make sentences with these words. Il campanello, il pedale, the pedal, la sella, il manubrio, that's a difficult word, il manubrio, the handlebar of a bicycle. Tandem, in tandem, a bicycle for 2 people, or 3 or 4, in tandem. Una bicicletta in tandem means it's for 2 or more people. Now, that's that for bicycle. Horse riding. L'equitazione is horse riding. Horse racing, l'ippica. And we have that l'ippica here in Melbourne. L'ippica di Melbourne è a novembre. Racehorse, il cavallo da corsa. Il mio cavallo da corso ha vinto la Coppa di Melbourne. Racecourse, l'ippodromo. To bet, scommettere. Ho scommesso tantissimi soldi nella mia vita. I've done so many. So you can make sentences here. Betting, la scommessa. Claudio ha scommesso tanto ma ha perso tutto. So that's it. Franco ha vinto. You can make a little paragraph out of it. On horseback, a cavallo. To mount, ride a horse, montare a cavallo. Io monto un cavallo. To ride, to mount. Io monto un cavallo. Io monto su un cavallo. Maybe, but, depending on who teaches you. Jockey. Jokey. When you get 2 languages, sometimes you forget the pronunciation of the other one, and it sort of tends to. Well, so forgive yourself for that. Il fantino, horseman, il cavallerizzo, il cavallerizzo, il cavallerizzo, I've never heard of that one, used often, maybe once in a blue moon. Horseshoe, il ferro di cavallo. And that's, you know, and they need the ferro di cavallo, otherwise they hurt their feet. Whip, la frusta, shouldn't use la frusta on horses or any other animal. It's wrong, but some people do it. They got to do exactly what they say. Stadium, lo stadio. So there, horse riding, you've got, you know, the whip, la frusta. You could almost have a paragraph about horse race in Melbourne. Okay, the next one is tennis, il tennis. Now that's an important game here in Melbourne, because in January, you know, Melbourne goes tennis on an international scale. Tennis, il tennis player, il giocatore di tennis, il tennista. I haven't heard that one, or too often. Forehand, il diritto. Backhand, il rovescio. Drive, il drive. Volley, la volata. Rally, il lungo scambio di colpi. Shot, il colpo. To serve, servire. Tennis court, il campo da tennis. Lawn tennis, il tennis sul prato. Baseline, la linea di fondo. Pretty difficult, some of these, and they're not often used as well. So, servo la palla all'altro giocatore, you know, something like that. The volley, la volata, che bella volata che ha fatto questo tennista, something like that. Okay, so the next, and more sideline. Le linee longitudinali. Love, lo zero, not the love, you know, I love you, etc. No, this love means nothing. Lo zero, in other words, your ball went out of the, you know, where it's supposed to go. You didn't hit the point. Point, il punto. Match, la partita. Racket, la racchetta. Net, la rete. Whites, le tenute bianche. Gym shoes, trainers, le scarpe da tennis. Table tennis, il tennis da tavolo. To lob, tirar alto. To win the match, vincere la partita. So here we are. These are the one on tennis, quite extensive, and you could write with this again a couple of paragraphs or even a little essay. Boxing, we got boxing and hunting, and then we finish. Okay, we're not going to go any more after that. So here we go. Boxing, il pugilato. Heavyweight, il peso massimo. Lightweight, il peso leggero. Bantamweight, il peso gallo. Featherweight, il peso piuma. I haven't heard il peso gallo because I live in Melbourne, so I never hear bantamweight being il peso gallo in Italian. Punch, il pugno. Round, la ripresa. Boxer, il pugilatore. Il pugilista, I'm not sure. It could be that too as well. Ring, il ring. Boxing gloves, i guanti da pugilatore. To knock out, mettere fuori combattimento. Ropes, le corde. Sawdust, la segatura. Weigh in, il peso. Again, there's some words there that, you know, with this you could write a couple of paragraphs about boxing as well. And then hunting, la caccia. Game, la selvaggina. Pack of hounds, una muta di cani. I never heard of muta di cani. Have never seen that before. Fox hunting, la caccia alla volpe. Hunting country, il terreno da caccia. Hunting horn, il corno da caccia. Scent, il fiuto. To be on the scent, essere sulle traccia. Notice traccia, la traccia, le tracce. Plural. That's singular there. Sulle traccia. So the plural of traccia remains traccia, not tracce. I would have said yes, tracce, but obviously, you know, this particular author has decided that there's only traccia is both for singular and plural. I could be wrong. Le tracce, double C-E, could have that, I suppose, but who am I to say? Poacher, il bracconiere. I've heard of that one many times. So these are the words, you know, for sport. So I'm giving you all of them, and next week I'll finish off the rest, which is a lot more. It's other sports, other useful vocabulary, verbs, idioms, and useful phrases, essays. Here it says, una partita di calcio. Il professionalismo nello sport è un bene o un male? Il mio sport preferito. L'Italia gioca contro l'Inghilterra. I giochi olimpici, il ciclismo. There you are. And you got all that, you know, coming up to you next week. Okay, on that note, welcome to Elio Cassano. Very good. Okay, so that's that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do, of course, I said that I would keep going with the songs that we've done. It's revision. And you don't need music. And somebody said to me, you can get music from the internet. Yes, but then they all interpret it differently. So this is the problem with music in general. Now, the one that I've done here is Il cuore è uno zingaro by Nicola Di Bari. And I did quite a lot of work on this. And here it is. So we've got the words of the actual song, the verbs, and more verbs. So it's quite, you know, there's a lot of verbs in this particular song. And this song here is Il cuore è uno zingaro. I'm going to put my iPhone here on it, and I'll try to sing it because I've got to see it. I prefer to see it directly. Now, how do I do it? It's a bit of a problem, shifting the lines. Okay, here we go. Il cuore è uno zingaro. Avevo una ferita in fondo al cuore, soffrivo. Le dissi non è niente, ma mentivo, piangevo. Per te si è fatto tardi, è già notte, non mi tenere, lasciami giù. Mi disse non guardarmi negli occhi e mi lasciò cantando così. Che colpa ne ho se il cuore è uno zingaro e va, catene non ha, il cuore è uno zingaro e va, finché troverà il prato più verde che c'è, raccoglierà le stelle su di sé e si fermerà, chissà, e si fermerà. L'ho vista dopo un anno l'altra sera, rideva, mi strinse, lo sapeva che il mio cuore batteva. Mi disse stiamo insieme stasera, che voglia di risponderle sì, ma senza mai guardarla negli occhi, io la lasciai cantando così. Che colpa ne ho se il cuore è uno zingaro e va, catene non ha, il cuore è uno zingaro e va, finché troverà il prato più verde che c'è, raccoglierà le stelle su di sé e si fermerà, chissà, e si fermerà. Hello, Dean. I hope you enjoyed that one. These are just the words, the lyrics. Of course, you want to learn these, you might as well listen to Nicola Di Bari. This is Primo Posto, Sanremo, 1971. It's a great song. It's good lyrics as well. It's got a good message, and that's it. And, you know, someone like yourself, you can really enjoy this with other people whenever you sing. Beautiful. Thank you for coming on, Dean. Okay, Now, the next one, go back to me. All right. Now, the next one will, what have I written there? So we did this. So then, yes. Now I've got my own poetry. I've got poetry, and I suppose I could even give you the translation, because sometimes, I don't know, some people want the translation of my poems. This one here is called Tre ragazze della mia scuola. This is the book, TomPadulaTV Poesia, and I've got this as a twin text poetry, my friend, there. And there's nothing wrong with a singer occasionally picking up a song in between an act like Dean and do the poem, a song in another language. Wonderful. Multiculturalism. And, that's it. Now, Tre ragazze della mia scuola, I wrote this many years ago when I was in a school where there was a corridor and that was pretty tight. So in the morning you had to make your way through. Tre ragazze della mia scuola. Here we go. Tre giovani ragazze vicino al loro deposito stanno tirando fuori i libri per la classe. Conversano, ridono e sono contente perché sono giovani e non si preoccupano. Nous chantons tous les matins quand notre professeur vient par ici. Nous voulons qu'il nous regarde parce que nous sommes ses favoris. Ma l'insegnante è preoccupato perché è in ritardo per la sua assemblea di classe. Lui passa camminando lestamente attraverso il corridoio, gremito, e sorride loro dicendo «Bonjour, mes jeunes filles». Nous chantons tous les matins quand notre professeur vient par ici. Nous voulons qu'il nous regarde parce que nous sommes ses favoris. Per attrarre l'attenzione del professore, le tre studentesse decidono di cantargli una canzone. La loro serenata è adesso ben conosciuta per tutta la scuola e si canta così. Nous chantons tous les matins quand notre professeur vient par ici. Nous voulons qu'il nous regarde parce que nous sommes ses favoris. So this particular song, because I was teaching French at the time, and the girls were there outside, so when they see you, they wanted, I said, practice your language. So that's it. So I wrote this particular song, this particular poem. There's another, I'll do my three poems all together now, because I think, yes, I won't sing another song, I'll sing it after this. Colpetti di freccette is another poem. I suppose, I don't know whether I should translate them. Will I translate that one? Well, let me see. I think I'll do it. I'll read it to you. All right. Just three young girls by their lockers are taking out their books for class. They are chatting, laughing, and are happy because they're young and have no worries. Nous chantons, I've heard that before. But the teacher is worried because he's late for his form assembly. He walks past quickly through the crowded corridor and he smiles as he says, Bonjour, good morning, my young girls. We sing every morning because our professor or teacher comes by here. We want that he looks at us because we are his favorites. Okay, so I've translated that. This one here, to attract the teacher's attention, the three students decided to sing him a song. Their serenade is now well known throughout the school, and it goes like this, the chanton, etc. So I've done that for you. Now this next one was a Colpetti di freccette. I actually wrote this in English, but this is a translation of the original, which I will read to you. Colpetti di freccette. Osservate i sentimenti di uomini appartati dalle regole della legge. Vedete quegli istinti nel greggio giocare ai giochi della sopravvivenza. Che resistenza c'è quando lo spirito è vivo. Là va lo stiletto meschino degli amiconi che, come streghe nella notte, rimuginano sulla pentola nera della discordia, traendo delle pozioni di veleno e con i loro cucchiai le buttano sulle effigie di uomini nella loro rimanenza mortali. Il corpo può soffrire il dolore e la rabbia, ma lo spirito si alza ad un enorme grido di vendetta, vendetta. Poi vedi quegli uomiconi con il loro spirito nudo, gonfiato, galleggiare nello spazio come i mongolfieri di Montpellier. Au revoir, adieu. Well, the language there is pretty difficult, really. So I'm going to read it in English for you. And it's called Flickering Darts in English. And I did write it in English, I remember clearly. Okay? Behold the feeling of men apart from the rule of law. See those instincts in the raw, playing games of survival. What endurance there is when the spirit is alive. There goes the mean dagger of cronies who, like witches in the night, brood over the black pot of discord, taking out potions of venom and with their spoons flickering them onto those effigies of men in their mortal remains. The body may suffer standing pain and anger, but the spirit rises to an almighty scream, vendetta, vendetta, vendetta. Then you see those cronies with their spirit naked, inflated, floating in space like balloons of Montpellier. Au revoir, adieu. I enjoyed writing that because I was really irritated with some people, and I thought, will I send them into the universe? And you can do that when you write a poem or a song. You know, you can have a lot of fun with it. So that's Flickering Darts. And the last one is Fine dell'anno. Here we go. Vengono ogni anno a mucchio e come furie prendono tutto e lasciano come foglie su un albero d'autunno. Là rimango, desolato e solo, mentre aspetto l'arrivo di un'altra stagione. Io sono il tronco che resta indietro per ricordare, per valutare l'esperienza, mentre loro se ne vanno mai più per ritornare in questo stesso anno, in questo gruppo di classi e di attività. Again, this was in English as well. They come each year in hordes, and like fury they take all and leave, like leaves on an autumn tree. Then there I stand desolate and alone, awaiting the coming of another season. Like leaves on an autumn tree, they left me, never to return to this same year, to this set of classes and activities. So I used to teach the year 7s, 8s, 9s, and they grow up so quickly. And by the end of the year, they would take their holidays in December, come back in February, and you wouldn't recognize some of them. They had grown so much, both physically and in spirit. And that's what young children are like. So if you have children, enjoy them. They grow up very quickly. So that's the end of my school. I think I've got one more poem here for next week or the week after. So there we are. How are we going for time? I don't know yet. Let me have a look. I've got another half an hour. All right. So we've done that. Now we got to the next song. After Il cuore è uno zingaro is Il tango delle capinere. Now, Il tango delle capinere is also musically very, very good because it's un tango. And if you like dancing like me, it's a good one to learn the words. Okay, here we go. Il tango delle capinere. Will I show it to you? Of course I will. Well, okay, and again, you can get the words off the internet. Laggiù nell'Arizona, terra di sogni e di chimere, se una chitarra suona, cantano 1000 capinere. Hanno la chioma bruna, hanno la febbre in cor, chi va a cercar fortuna vi troverà l'amor. A mezzanotte va la ronda del piacere e nell'oscurità ognuno vuol godere, son baci di passion, l'amor non sa tacere, e questa la canzon di mille capi nere. Il bandolero stanco scende la sierra misteriosa, sul suo cavallo bianco spicca la vampa di una rosa. Quel fior di primavera vuol dire fedeltà, e alla sua capinera egli lo porterà. A mezzanotte va la ronda del piacere e nell'oscurità ognuno vuol godere, son baci di passion, l'amor non sa tacere, e questa la canzon di mille capi nere. La ra 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 ra, la ra 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 ra, la ra 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 ra, la ra 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 ra. E chi ritornerà lasciando le miniere, forse riporterà dell'oro in un forziere, ma il cuore lascerà tra mille capi nere. Again, this song here is a wonderful song, but it needs a bit of interpretation because the capinere is both, it's also a bird, but it's also the color, the black hair of the indigenous people in America, nell'Arizona of the Indios, the American, the original, they like to be called indigenous people. They don't, First Nations people. Indians, because in India, there are Indians in India, but they're not the Indians of America. So there you are. Okay, so that's Il Tango delle Capinere. It's another beautiful song that you can learn, and you can also use for the learning of Italian, because, as I said, there is a lot of the words here, see, the verbs, etc. Il Tango delle Capinere. So you can use the songs to learn your Italian. Now, the last one, I'm going to just read this one here because, too much to do what I've just done. This one here is for the more advanced. I'm just going to read Che lavoro fa la tua mamma? Okay? Oh, sorry. I forgot to turn it off. Che lavoro fa la tua mamma? All right. Luisa, dimmi che lavoro fa la tua mamma? Anna, la mia mamma fa la casalinga. Luisa, allora ha tanto da fare? Certo, ma noi l'aiutiamo sempre. Luisa, che cosa fate? Anna, al mattino prima di andare via facciamo i letti e mettiamo in ordine le stanze. A mezzogiorno il babbo prepara la tavola. Quando abbiamo mangiato, noi laviamo i piatti e puliamo tutto. Così la mamma può riposare e leggere un libro. Luisa, la mia mamma invece lavora in ufficio. Anna, che cosa fa? Lavora con un calcolatore elettronico. Che lavoro è? È un lavoro difficile ma molto interessante. So this is all about mother, what the mother do, and how you treat them, etc., etc. La cassiera, this is now the mother that goes to the supermarket. Ivo, sai, ho visto la tua mamma ieri. Pino, dove? Ivo, al supermercato. Pino, ah sì, ha trovato lavoro, fa la cassiera. Ivo, le piace il suo nuovo lavoro? Pino, sì, le piace anche se è faticoso. So, sketches like this help with the learning of Italian. You can create your own, of course, or you can follow, me, because I've done that one like that. And now this one here, la mamma va a scuola, because it's a bit hard for me to read and show it to you. Ivo, hai visto la partita di calcio ieri sera alla televisione? No, non avevo tempo. Che cosa hai fatto? Giorgio, ho preparato la cena. Ivo, tu hai preparato la cena da solo? Giorgio, no, mi ha aiutato il babbo. Ivo, è malata la tua mamma? No, non è malata. La mia mamma va alla scuola serale 3 volte alla settimana. Alla scuola serale. Perché? Per imparare tante cose interessanti. È brava la tua mamma a scuola, è più brava di me, studia molto e fa sempre più i compiti, tutti i compiti. È molto divertente perché qualche volta li facciamo insieme. Riceve anche la pagella? Sì, alla fine dell'anno riceve un diploma. Che brava la tua mamma. Which is true, the adults, when they apply themselves, do a better job than children, because the children get distracted and the adults appreciate education a lot more. The ones that do, they really commit to it, because that's a commitment. And I teach now adults at the University of the Third Age, but I've taught in evening schools as well and coordinated. So what happens there is that adults, and I think governments in general, should have part of their program of government is to supply adults with some education, free of charge, especially for, when the people want to start off in a particular subject area. It should be free, because then you go into the institution, you go in and out a few times until you find what you really want to learn, and then the more advanced classes can be paid for to maintain. But we pay taxes, and I think education is an important part of government policy, not just for children, but for the whole population. Here we go. I've done my bit for politics. Now the next one. Un caffè per la mamma. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna sing one more song first before I go there. After that spill, I deserve to have a bit of fun, no? Yes. And this one here is going to be Come bello fa l'amore quando è sera, and it's in Roman dialect a little bit, but there's a lot of Italian, so here we go. Come bello fa l'amore quando è sera. Here we go, I'm going to give you the words. Oh, welcome to Marisa, Francavilla. Ciao. Ok. Quando è bello. Chi per fa l'amore vuol salotto o separé, chi se sceglie l'ombra profumata d'un caffè. Mentre c'ho da dite, a me piace amoreggiare per le strade in libertà. Quando poi tramonta il sole, so più dolci le parole a tu per tu. Come bello fa l'amore quando è sera, core a core con una pupa che è sincera, quelle stelle che ci guardano lassù, non so belle come l'occhi che c'hai tu. Luce bianca, dormi veglia ad un lampione, che ti insegna dove tu te puoi baciare, specialmente fra le rose a primavera, come bello fa l'amore quando è sera. Spersa nell'erbetta fra le rose e le panzè, io c'ho una casetta che mi fabbrico da me, c'ha pettetto il cielo, c'ha la luna papa giù, nel tramonto è tutta blu, non ci pago mai piccione e ci porto ogni maschietta che mi va. E se un vigile mi chiede, lei che fa? Io rispondo, è casa mia che non lo sa. L'ho inalzata con i sogni sta casetta, e se qui la pupa mia mi vie trovà, specialmente fra le rose a primavera, come bello fa l'amore quando è sera. It's a beautiful song, really beautiful. And, sul Pincio in Rome, what a beautiful song. Because I've been to Pincio a couple of times, and, la sera c'è, al tramonto, eccetera, and the lights go down. Such beauty in Italy. Ogni tanto ci vuole una passeggiatina in Italia, eh? But lately, I must tell you, I went to Darwin, to Broome, and to Perth a couple of weeks ago, and it was a wonderful experience. And I hadn't done it before. I've been to, Sydney and a bit north in the Queensland and Tasmania once, a couple of times, and Adelaide, but never to the north. And there was 10 days. They call it the dry season. Not a cloud in the sky. 25 to 30 every day. What a life. But between you and me, could I put up with that all day, every day? No, I need my things around me. I love the city and I love Melbourne. So holiday, yes, but always I call Melbourne home. Here we go. Antonio Carlos Zaccaria, welcome. Okay, so I'll do now un caffè per la mamma. I'll read it this time. Ok, un caffè per la mamma. Tutte le sere, dopo cena, mia mamma prende il caffè. Ieri sera era molto tardi, allora le ho chiesto: mamma, stasera non lo prendi il caffè? Sì, lo vorrei, ma lo devo fare. Stasera non posso perdere tempo. Non posso perdere neanche 5 minuti, perché devo finire questo cappotto per domani mattina. La mia mamma lavora in casa per una ditta e ha sempre molto da fare. Deve finire i cappotti per il giorno e l'ora stabiliti dalla ditta. Mamma, te lo faccio io il caffè? Sì, prova, ma stai attenta a non buttare in terra la polverina. Allora incomincio, riempio la caffettiera di acqua, metto il caffè nel contenitore bucherellato, non riesco a chiudere la caffettiera e mi faccio aiutare dalla mamma, poi metto la caffettiera sul fuoco, dopo 10 minuti il caffè è pronto, lo verso nella tazzina e lo porto alla mamma. Bravo, è proprio buono, mi dice. Okay, so that is a piece of Italian that is important for la mamma. Qua ci vorrebbe veramente la mamma, ci vorrebbe una canzone sulla mamma. Mamma, son tanto felice, eccetera, eccetera. No, we won't do it. I'm going to give you a filastrocca. A filastrocca. Filastrocca impertinente. Here we go. Filastrocca impertinente, chi sta zitto non dice niente, chi sta fermo non cammina, chi va lontano non s'avvicina, chi siede non sta ritto, chi va storto non va dritto e chi non parte in verità in nessun posto arriverà. Gianni Rodari is one of my favorite authors, and I think I got most of his works here at Insegna. He's a very well-known Italian journalist, writer who wrote for children, but really all his work it's to be enjoyed by adults. What about this one here? This is by Leonardo da Vinci. Here, I'll read it to you. This one, I got back. C'era una volta un rospo che ogni tanto allungava il muso e mangiava un po' di terra. Perché sei così magro? Gli chiese un giorno la coccinella. Perché ho sempre fame, rispose il rospo. Ma se mangi soltanto terra, disse la coccinella, perché non ne mangi a sazietà? Perché un giorno, disse con voce triste il rospo, avaro, anche la terra potrebbe finire. No, it's a good one. It's Leonardo da Vinci. It's one of his work. And this one here, I'll read you this one too. Suona il telefono, ok? Suona il telefono. There we are. Pronto? Pronto, chi parla? Sono Luisa, sei tu zia Clara? Sì, sono io, sei sola in casa? Sì, sono sola. Volevo parlare con la mamma. Mi dispiace, zia, ma la mamma è uscita. Ritelefoni più tardi. No, più tardi devo uscire anch'io. Devo dirle qualcosa? Dì alla tua mamma che domenica vi aspetto tutti a pranzo. Va bene, zia, e grazie dell'invito. Vuoi aiutare? Eccetera, eccetera. Isn't that good? Now, I was going to leave this song here for next week, but I'll sing it to you because it's one of my favorite as well, and it's called Come Vorrei. And this is from Ricchi e Poveri, and if you got to go to YouTube, you can really enjoy their music. They're just wonderful group. Ricchi e Poveri, Come Vorrei. Do you know the song? I hope you do, because if you do, you can sing it. Here we go. I think I do a pretty good job with this one, because I know it well, I think. Ok. Ci sono giorni in cui non dormo e penso a te. Sto chiusa in casa col silenzio per amico. Mentre la neve dietro ai vetri scende giù, ti aspetto qui, vicino al fuoco. In questo inverno c'è qualcosa che non va, non è Natale da una volta nella vita, eppure è stato solamente un anno fa. Speriamo che non sia finita. Come vorrei, amore mio, come vorrei che tu mi amassi a modo mio, che questa sera troppo triste, troppo uguale, non fosse più senza di te. Come vorrei, amore mio, come vorrei che questo amore che va via non si sciogliesse come fa la neve al sole, senza parole. Dovrei capirti quando vedo che vai via e non amarti quando non vuoi farti amare, senza cadere in una nuova gelosia che solo tu mi fai provare. Come vorrei, amore mio, come vorrei che tu mi amassi a modo mio, che questa sera troppo triste, troppo uguale, non fosse più senza di te. Come vorrei, amore mio, come vorrei che questo amore che va via non si sciogliesse come fa la neve al sole, senza parole. E questa volta un'altra donna non verrà a cancellare la tua impronta sul cuscino. Anche alla luna gliel'ho chiesto e non ci sta. Non vuole più starmi vicino. There you are. See, the words come out, but sometimes you lose your you lose what you need the music. You need a lot of energy too to sing these songs here. But what's important, ciao Assunta Lombardi, thank you for coming on. What's important about songs that you learn the words, and that's when you go dancing, then you can sing them. The Italian clubs are really good places because they've concentrated for years on eating, dancing, having a good time, cards, sport. La cultura e la lingua, poco, ma c'è bisogno anche di quella nei clubs italiani. You cannot leave it just to the schools. And the clubs too can invite schools, children, to their club sometimes and make them experience the way in which they have developed a culture that is quite paesana in a way here in Melbourne. And that's, I think, multiculturalism needs that. It needs the experience of people from overseas and of various groups of people with particular cultures and that should be shared amongst. It should not be kept within. Yes, sometimes, yes, you can, the club members have a right to their own time, but it should be open to all. And they are open to all, because especially now, after the pandemic, they're all struggling. So they want to go back to, you want to go back to the way it was before. But what we've learned of all this time here, we've learned that we need to do something about it. We need to take charge of the culture and the identity that we have. And, you know, sono italiano, io sono australiano, I'm a mix. It's the culture. You cannot forget where you come from, where you've been, what you've done. That's what makes you, you. So, in a way, this trip, this holiday that I took after many years, because there was a lady there, 94 years old, had been doing it for 30 years, been around the world. What a mind, but enjoyed herself, yes, but the effect was that when you spoke to this person, was a very interesting person. Traveling, learning a language, going out, important. Okay, now I've got one more song to do as well, and that way I would have liked to have done, I might just do my last poem. Last poem is about history. And that way I'll finish with the book. I'll be able to start with my other book. La storia. La storia. C'è là chi la racconta, c'è dentro chi se la racconta, c'è anche chi ha riconosciuto, c'è chi ha la simpatia degli altri, chi ha realmente fatto qualcosa in più, chi ha semplicemente scritto dei versi, a volte un'enciclopedia. Ci sono poi vari angoli del prisma dei fatti, c'è anche dentro chi non ha fatto niente o chi ha immaginato troppo, perciò ivi dentro si trovano anche le illusioni, e le delusioni di chi pensa di aver fatto ma in realtà non ha. La storia è come si racconta e chi la racconta. La storia è importante per gli importanti, però la storia è di tutti. There you are. History is important for everybody. One last song, La vita è bella. That's a good one to finish off for the day. Okay? And then I'll finish off. La vita è bella. Libero sono e giocondo, giro e girando per mondo, rido dell'uomo d'affari, del re di denari che conta i milioni. Vivo i miei giorni felici, sfuggo le donne di amici. Io senza amor non mi lagno, il migliore compagno è soltanto il mio cuor. La vita è bella e la devi goder, se non hai nulla, non hai pure i pensieri. Al chiar di luna si può sempre sognar, tutto ciò che si vuole, c'è un raggio di sole per farti scaldar. E se amaro il destino, un bicchiere di vino fa tutto scordar. Quando la notte è più fonda, guardo nascosto nell'ombra, con la chitarra tracolla la gente che sfolla da gran cinema. Sognon le dive le stelle, ma le mie stelle son quelle del cielo soltanto, ed allegro io canto per loro lassù. Al chiar di luna si può sempre sognar, tutto ciò che si vuole, c'è un raggio di sole per farti scaldar, e se amare il destino un bicchiere di vino fa tutto scordar. E se amaro il destino un bicchiere di vino fa tutto scordar. Wow, una carrellata di canzoni oggi, and poetry, my favorite. And you don't need other people to do those two things. But you do need other people to do the sketches. And you can also read aloud at home. And you can learn your phrases and then use them. And when I showed you the words, you can write sentences. So a language, you need to listen to it, speak it, read and write it. The 4 language skills. But around all this, there is culture, Italian culture. La geografia, la storia, l'economia, la politica, lo sport. There's so much more about a language and a people. A language is gives a certain identity to the people. When I was up north, in Darwin especially, I saw writing in the indigenous languages. They were in Romanized form. The words were in Romanized. So we can actually learn ourselves an indigenous language. Here in Melbourne, we have particular groups, the Wurundjeri people. They must have a language. Now, we have Wurundjeri textbooks and, word books, etc. That's some of the work that can be done for our indigenous people preparing for the big questions that the government is going to put to us next year in terms of indigenous presence in Parliament. Okay? So, making the one family they've been talking about for a while, it's all happening now. It's all happening. And congratulations to those people who have the big heart to bring it all together. And it's 11:30. I just want to remind you that these podcasts of mine are available, of course, on live on Facebook, but also on YouTube now. I've done 1 to 10 of the 4 sections: world history, Divina Commedia, French and Spanish, and of course Italian lessons. They are in the Insegna.com website. In the blog section, you get 1 to 10, and I'm putting them up every couple of weeks. Whenever I can, I put them up 5 at a time. Eventually, we'll get there. Also, TomPadula.blogspot.com. You'll get not just these presentations, but a lot more: the poetry, the writing, the e-books, etc., etc. There's a lot more. And finally, where's the other one? So, Facebook, Blogspot, Insegna, and YouTube. Those are the 4 for now. They're different platforms, but on this note, I want to thank you to those people who come on to listen to what I have to say here online. And now I'm going to go off. Grazie mille. Ci vediamo la prossima settimana per l'ultima lezione della pratica, and then I will start. I'll prepare you for it, and you can prepare yourselves. I will start with Italian literature beginning from the Roman times onwards. I'll give you a clue about how the Italian language developed. Okay, and which writers were very important in various centuries leading up to the modern age. All right, so that's something I will enjoy, because I want to revise what I did many years ago, and I want to share it. On that note, di nuovo, ciao from Tom Padula of TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers.